If you're a female athlete watching this, you've got to speak up. Daughter genitalia being grabbed in a wrestling match. The Supreme Court giving the decision back to the states on how they want to govern and pass laws protecting female athletes from trans women being in biological female sports is not a victory for the Trump administration. As much as you have the right-wing media propagating that it is, and left-wing media propagating that this is discrimination and now you're going to see a nationwide trans ban, none of those things are true. What this is a half measure. It's a step in the right direction, but it's not the full thing. What most logical Americans wanted was a full federal ban on trans females being in female sports. But we didn't get that. What we got was the Supreme Court saying if you're a state, you could pass your own laws and govern your own self as to how you want to protect female athletes. And it said to the 27 states that already have laws that are banning trans females from being in women's sports, it said to them that's not discrimination. By the way, out of the 27 states, 20 that already have these laws, 26 of those states Trump won in the 2024 general election. But you've got to look at the demography here. Most of these cases, the reason why this whole trans female being in biological female sports became nationwide headline is because a lot of these lawsuits were happening in blue states and are still happening in blue states. So I'm talking about New Jersey, New York, California. These three states hold 70 million Americans. That's where a lot of these cases are happening, where you have a mother saying, I do not want my daughter's genitalia being grabbed in a wrestling match. I do not want my daughter's track record, her long jump distance, her swimming record being destroyed by a trans female, which is what is actually happening. Think about this for a second. This is not a conversation. If I told you this 10 years ago that we'd be talking about trans women being in female athlete sports, you would tell me that, Amir, you're out of your freaking mind. But here we are wasting tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, possibly even billions of dollars on litigation, on case law, on lawyers and judges, passing half measures. Like, this is, like, what a waste of taxpayers' dollars to have to talk about stuff like this. When 10 years ago we would be like, this is not serious. We should be talking about much more serious issues. And God, I sound like a politician talking about this one, which I'm not. The last thing I ever will be is a politician, because we need less politicians in America and more Americans just doing their civic duty. And so what I'm getting at is, you're not going to see New Jersey, New York, California, these blue states, pass any laws protecting females from trans women being in female sports. You're just not. And so what we need is female athletes. If you're a female athlete watching this, you've got to speak up. You've got to speak up and say that you are uncomfortable with trans women being in your locker rooms, trans women beating the hell out of you, trans women taking your sports away, taking your rights away. And I think we're seeing that movement starting to grow, but it is clearly not there yet. It needs to, if you're a parent of a daughter who's in sports, you've got to speak up and say, I want no part of this. This is a discussion that I don't even want happening in my school. And if it does, then, you will hear from us. I mean, just recently, you like, parents are still fighting to make sure that they're not teaching their kids about oral sex and hypersexualizing them in books in elementary school. I mean, that is what parents are fighting for till this day. And now they've got another thing to deal with. My goodness, look, I live in the state of New Jersey, and every day the thought crosses my mind as to, is it the best idea for me to raise my kids here, or should I go to a different state? That thought goes through my mind almost every day. And I hate that thought, that the fact that this thought goes through my mind every day, because I love the state of New Jersey. I grew up here. I have roots here. I have family here. I have friends here. It's where I've built my career. It's where I've built my life. I don't want to leave this state. But the fact that it's being eroded away by illiberals, socialism, and communism, all taking over, and illogical ideas like the one we're talking about right here, it just makes you question a lot of things. Thank you for watching.